the arrest of Delhi's Health Minister Satyendar Jain. This arrest by the Enforcement Directorate. Let's go across straight to Arvind, who's covering that story. So Arvind, the first arrest of a AAP minister. We've seen the ED arrest Maharashtra ministers, but the first arrest of a Delhi AAP minister by the Enforcement Directorate and a prominent minister, Satyendar Jain. Why does the ED feel it has enough evidence given that Satyendar Jain is not a threat of running away or that he has been appearing for questioning?
Yeah, Sonia, the Enforcement Directorate in a case that dates back to 2017 has today decided to arrest Satyendar Jain, who is a very powerful minister in the cabinet of Arvind Kejriwal here in the national capital. The Enforcement Directorate, taking cognizance of CBI's FIR that dates back to 2017 in an alleged disproportionate assets case against Satyendar Jain and his family members, initiated a money laundering probe. According to the Enforcement Directorate agency officials, though the CBI's FIR states that Satyendar Jain, along with his family members, amassed wealth disproportionate to his known source of income to the tune of somewhere around 1.68 crore between 2015 and 2016. But during the course of the investigation by the Enforcement Directorate, sources say that Satyendar Jain allegedly set up several shell companies in Kolkata, and then he routed all his ill-gotten money through this hawala network to this shell company set up in Kolkata, and then that was in turn used to launder to the tune of somewhere around 16 crore rupees, out of which the agency sources say they have unearthed somewhere around 4.81 crore rupees as on date, which in the last month the agency had attached all these properties worth 4.81 crore.
Arvind, I'm just going to go across to Saurabh Bhardwaj, who joins us. Saurabh Bhardwaj, of course, an AAP MLA and spokesperson. Mr. Bhardwaj, what's your first reaction to the arrest of Delhi's health minister, also the Himachal in charge for elections for AAP, Mr. Satyendar Jain? What's your first reaction?
For your viewers and for the benefit of all your viewers, I just want to inform them that this is no new case. This is an 8-year-old case which BJP has been tom-tomming years and years. When this case was registered 8 years ago, for 1 to 2 years, the ED, the CBI summoned Mr. Jain many times. They grilled him, they asked for papers, they investigated, and they found nothing. For last 6 years, these agencies were sleeping because they couldn't find anything. They couldn't even go to the court because nothing, no iota of evidence was found by them. Now, Mr. Jain has been actively working as an election in charge in the state of Himachal Pradesh. 2 to 3 days in a week, he is in Himachal. He is addressing rallies. He is basically building up Aam Aadmi Party. There is very high anti-incumbency of BJP in Himachal. They are even planning to change their chief minister in Himachal. But in next 3 to 4 months, there is an election in Himachal.
Mr. Bhardwaj, I just want to take up on that point. I just want to play Mr. Kejriwal's bite in January this year, where he said Mr. Satyendar Jain would be arrested before the Punjab elections. So whereas, of course, AAP is completely within its rights, and it's true that the case, the 2017 case, to say the charges are false, is it true that it really is about politics? Because then why wasn't he arrested before Punjab? Let's just hear what Mr. Kejriwal said.
आने वाले कुछ दिनों में ईडी सत्येंद्र जैन जी को गिरफ्तार करने वाली है.
So that was what Mr. Kejriwal said in January. At that time, the AAP said Punjab elections. Now you're saying Himachal elections. Doesn't it become, is this part of a larger political clash you feel between the BJP and AAP? You've seen Maharashtra ministers being arrested. Do you think this is all about politics? It's that it's only opposition leaders being targeted?
I think everybody in India, even the general public, understands that these central agencies, whether it is CBI, ED or income tax, they are used as political tools by the central government. The Congress used to use these tools, and I think it was BJP which used to accuse Congress and the UPA government for using CBI against them. Even the courts called CBI as a caged parrot. And now BJP is using all the agencies, including NIA, CBI, ED, income tax, whenever there is an election in Bengal, if there is an election in Uttar Pradesh, if there is an election in Maharashtra, the incumbent government or their political adversaries will face all kinds of harassment. There will be CBI raids, there will be ED raids, there will be income tax coming into the finances of the political parties. And I think everybody understands it. Even at the time of Punjab election, I was in Gurdaspur and Mr. Jain was also in Gurdaspur, and it was, yes, there was a very strong rumor. The local intelligence informed us that, you are going to be picked up in a day. And when Mr. Kejriwal just blew it up, then probably, BJP went on a back foot and they did not execute it, thinking that it may,
So, Mr.
it may
Bhargava,
fire
thanks
back
for...
to them.
No, thank you for that. Because you saw also Mr. Manish Sisodia's tweet saying it's a Farzi case and making that point that you're making. But of course, we'll wait for the BJP response as well to that. And of course, what the courts say, because that really, I'm sure, will be the issue now when it reaches court. And that's the question, that why arrest somebody who's a minister unlikely to run away? Is it at this stage, was his arrest needed?